Welcome back to part 2 of the Archive Garage Care Package install series. Now, if you guys watched the last video, you already have a very in-depth explanation of what's going on here, but let me catch you up to speed if this is the video you're watching first. If you guys have been around the channel, you know the name Archive Garage, and you've seen their logo on my back window. And that is because I've been running Archive Garage's Shock Relocation Kit in the rear for about a little over a year now, and I absolutely love their products. I love it so much that I went ahead and installed their hammer hangers with their shackles, and in the last episode I just installed their Ubolt flip kit and their bump stop in the rear. And that bump stop is the reason why I say welcome back to part 2. In the last episode I went over and showed you guys that they sent me 3 different unmarked boxes, 2 of which I was expecting and 1 of which I was not expecting. So in the first video, the first box we opened was the Ubolt flip kit, which we have installed. So if you guys want to see that video, go ahead and check that out. But then I also covered with you guys that this box, I was not expecting them to send. So I have no idea what is in this box. I have an idea, I have a guess of what it could be. But today we're going to be doing an unboxing of this mystery package that they sent me and see what it is we're installing today. And the third box they sent me, I'm especially excited about for you guys. Like I said, I've been running their Shock Relocation Kit for a little bit over a year now, and this is hands down my favorite mod I've done to the truck. It has really helped out the suspension with the rear end of the Tacoma, which, I mean, Tacomas just don't have the best suspension geometry from factory, so this was a huge upgrade for my truck. Now back to this third box. Like I said, this box has another Shock Relocation Kit, but you might be asking yourself, why do you have another one if you already have one on the truck? Well, that's because Archive Garage has sent one out to me to do a giveaway for you guys. So if you guys want the Shock Relocation Kit, make sure you subscribe and make sure you follow me on Instagram because I will be posting this giveaway. It will be going live very soon. And in the meantime, while you guys wait for that giveaway to go live, I have plenty of videos on my channel showing off this kit, installing it, GoPro shots, off-roading with it, reviews, all kinds of stuff with this kit on my channel. So go ahead and check those videos out while you wait for the giveaway to go live. And if you guys are interested in any other products that they sell that I have on my truck, like the hammer hangers in the back, like the Ubolt flip kit, those are all on the channel as well. And today we are throwing on yet another Archive Garage product. So let's go ahead, get unboxing it and find out what is inside of here. I also want to shout out that they sent me this sick Archive Garage t-shirt in the last video. So, you know we're represented now, boys. Like I said in the last video, I had a phone call with the owner of Archive Garage and we talked about a few different things, and I definitely knew that the Ubolt flip kit and the Shock Relocation Kit were coming, but we did not talk about a third package, which is why I truly have no idea what is in here. Like I said, I have a rough idea because we did talk about something, but I thought it was going to be pushed off till later. But let's see what it is. All right, so I see XT written inside the box here, so I'm assuming that stands for cross tube, which this looks to be exactly that. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I personally have not looked at this product specifically on their website. I was more so after the Ubolt flip kits and the Shock Relocations and stuff like that. So let's hop on their website real quick and get a little more information about this product. All right, so let's see what they got. So as we scroll down the page, you see the hammer hangers, which I was talking about, I have installed. Right here is the Ubolt flip kit option 3, which I just installed in the last video. Right here, these are the Shock Relocation towers that I have on my truck and the ones that we are going to be giving away. Don't have those. Okay, this right here, this is what I think we have. Alrighty boys, so what we just unpackaged is a high clearance cross tube option for the Tacoma hammer hangers. So essentially in my mind, before I read too much into the description of it, what I'm thinking goes on is this can bolt between the 2 hammer hangers that I now have installed, and it'll stiffen up the rear end by tying the 2 ends together. So let's get a little more in depth because as you can see here on the screen, their description section is very detailed on all of their products. So let me just read through real quick and give you guys a few little bullet points. Okay, well, I was pretty on the money. It essentially just goes between the 2 hangers, ties the 2 sides together, and adds rigidity, improves the ride quality because it is tying those 2 sides together versus independently sort of messing with the frame rail and the hangers themselves. It does say at the end for when like rocks hit the hammer hangers, which if you follow the channel and you watch what I do, we don't do a whole lot of trails and rock crawling. We're more high desert, high speed, sort of pre-runner-esque type off-roading, which I feel like it's not going to be a problem. Either way, the 2 ends are getting tied, it's stiffening up the whole rear end, which should still help with the ride quality no matter what kind of off-roading you do. So let's go ahead and get installing this. Alrighty, before we throw it on, let's go ahead and unwrap it real quick so we can get a look at the product itself. Something I mentioned in the last video, and pretty much any video that I've dealt with Archive Garage, is that their shipping time is insane. And I hope you guys know that even if stuff is sent out to me, I'm still gonna be pretty fair, pretty honest in like the reviews and what I'm saying in the videos. It's not like I can get bought out, but something I do really love about Archive Garage is how fast their shipping is. They're based all the way out in New York, and anytime I've ordered any of their products, it has always been on my doorstep. From the time I hit order on my doorstep, probably in, I wanna say about 3 days. 3 days it'll be here. You know, you order stuff from, you know, a lot of the off-roading is based down in California, so all the shops are fairly close, but still, you have to deal with like insane shipping times. And keep in mind, that is their free shipping option. It's not like I'm paying for any priority shipping. I'm being so careful with this because I do not want to cut this nice paint job. I'm over here acting like I'm not going to off-road with it and completely sandblast it with rocks and dirt and everything. This thing is secured in here, geez. Okay, I finally got it unwrapped. Taking the stuff out of the box now. Oh my God, more stuff to unwrap. Alrighty, so what we got here, first thing in the box, package of hardware that we got. You have a bracket here that connects to the high clearance cross tube that attaches to the truck as well. And then you have the cross tube, some stickers. Then you have the cross tube itself. Very, very nice. I love the way they painted this product. This is sweet. Now the first step to installing this is the thing that was mostly not concerning to me, but something that might be of concern when it comes to off-roading for me personally. As we know, the back end of these Tacomas are really, really light, and the suspension geometry is not quite there. So it's key to have as much weight in the rear as you possibly can when off-roading to keep it planted. And what I've done to kind of keep added weight in the rear is I still have the stock spare tire under the bed, not because I think I'm ever going to use it, but just because it adds that much more weight in the rear down low and keeps it sort of, you know, hanging down there a little bit. Now with this product, since the high clearance cross tube goes right between the hangers, you have to remove that stock spare tire in order for this to go in. So I'm essentially replacing the weight of the stock spare tire with the weight of this, which is not ideal for me because the stock spare tire, in my mind, definitely weighs a lot more than this. I think overall the package itself says it weighs 11 pounds. So this product is probably, I don't know, maybe 7 pounds. With the included hardware and everything, it might be coming up to about 10 pounds, but 10 pounds compared to the weight of a stock spare tire, not sure how much a stock spare tire weighs. But I would imagine that it weighs a little bit more because you have the steel wheel, you know, so you'd have to imagine it weighs a lot more than this. So I'm not sure how that's going to play into my off-roading, losing that added weight to the rear and replacing it with something that weighs a little less, but that's all going to be figured out when I do a review on this product and actually get out in the desert. But for now, let's go ahead and carry on with this install, and we'll worry about that in a later video when we're doing some product testing out in the desert. But hey, weight can always be added to the rear in different ways as long as this improves the ride quality like it says it will. Okay. So the thing I noticed with this product versus other products that I've gotten from them is that this doesn't have any instructions with it, and I think that's mainly because it's fairly straightforward, but there's also some directional pieces on here like this bracket that that I would assume have to face a specific way. So let's go ahead and start figuring this out, try to find the right orientation. And we found it. So that little bracket I said is directional. It's going to be flat on top of the crossbar facing the front of the truck like the engine. And obviously since it's high clearance, it's going to be as high as functionally possible on this. So I'm pretty confident we have the right position here. Let's go ahead and start getting some bolts in to hold it in place. Man, they are not lying when they say that this is high clearance. This is like as high as you can possibly get without touching the spare tire holder. So we got the washers and bolts through. Let's throw some more washers on with their provided hardware. And yes, it does come with 2 identical bags of hardware here, which includes nuts, bolts, and washers. It has a plate over there, which I already showed you guys. That's going to be connecting to this plate that's facing forward to mount up to this hole. And a separate plate right here, which is to do with how you have your hammer hangers installed, because they have two different positions on the hammer hangers, so they can either be a little more forward, a little more backwards. I'm not sure which orientation mine were installed in, so I might not need this, but we're gonna find out once we get there. Let me go ahead and grab this plate along with these provided extra large washers, because once you get up into the spare tire holder, the holes are massive on that, so they provide large washers to kind of help you get these bolts through. So, question is, what orientation are we doing here? How does this work? Oh! Well, I guess I need to make a decision on this spare tire chain here, because this blocks the hole to get to. Now that there's no weight on the spare tire chain, I could just turn it by hand, so I guess it doesn't really matter if it blocks that. The only thing that might matter is, do I have to remove this whole unit for this plate to fit? Ooh, I don't think so. Maybe like this? No, that doesn't make sense. I think I had it right the first time. Just slides up in, sits on top of it like a shelf. I'll show you guys the whole orientation of everything once I actually get it put together. But let me go ahead and finish this up first, and then I'll catch up with you guys in a second. I somehow have this amazing ability to always do install videos when my neighbor's gardeners are here. So I don't know if, hopefully you guys can't hear that, but. All right, we are done tightening the cross tube up here, so let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like from under here. So obviously you're gonna want it going at the highest angle possible, hugging the body of the truck. You got the two bolts to help you out there, guide that up. Now let me show you up here. That bracket piece I was showing you guys, it sits right on top of the welded part of the cross tube. You're gonna have two different hole positions on the bottom depending on where your hammer hangers are installed, what orientation they're installed in. Drop the bolts to the top. Then you have the top bolted to where the spare tire holder is. Bigger holes, but they give you these big washers to help for that. And that helps it keep attached to the truck there. So now with the final product, you can see instead of the hammer hangers being separate entities, I can sort of flex with the off-roading. They are now tied together by this crossbar, which is also bolted to, I would consider it like the frame of the truck there, this crossbar that the truck has bolted to the frame. So now it just ties everything together a whole lot better. Should be extra rigidity added, get a lot more comfort out of it, because instead of two sort of vibrating, flexing pieces, it's all tied together nice and neat now. So let me get out from under the truck here and we can go ahead and wrap up some final thoughts. All in all, it's a very, very beautiful product. It is super high clearance. You can barely even see it up here until you climb under and look. And like I said earlier in the video, I'm super stoked to get out to the desert and actually put some miles on both the bump stops and this high clearance cross tube. Now this back end truly is like a full archive build. We have the Shock Relocation Kit, we have the Ubolt flip kit and bump stops, we have the hammer hangers and shackles, we have the cross tube. So make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned so we can see how all of this plays together, see how amazing it makes the rear end of a Tacoma. And if you guys are interested in picking up these products for yourselves, head over to Archive Garage on Instagram and on their website and check out their products. Make sure you check out my other videos so you can see all the other Archive products we have back here. And don't forget guys, we have the giveaway coming. Thank you so much for watching this video. Huge shout out to Archive Garage for sending out these products. And I will catch you guys when we go out to the desert and review these products.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting